everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Living and Loving with yours truly, Monique McCall, singer, songwriter, country music recording artist. And today I have a very special guest who can make your dreams come true, or at least reveal the truth of your dreams, a holistic health expert, transactional analyst specializing in dream work, and a newly published author of The Dream Class. Welcome, Patricia Eltinge.
How are you, Monique? I'm glad to be here with you today.
So happy you could be here, Patricia. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited, and I know the audience is so excited to hear all about your dream work that you're doing. I mean, you're out, you're living, you're loving, and you're analyzing dreams. So tell me how you got there.
Well, I got there through a long path, and that was through my own trauma. So I start out in the book, I talk about it in my introduction, my early childhood trauma of being kidnapped and molested, and my journey through dreams coming through to me, as we used to call them, nightmares. I call them scary images now. And we talk about how I transformed my life through dream work, but really through a lot of work prior to that. And I got deeply involved in the health field in 1980 and became a master herbalist and certified iridologist, and co-founded an herbal medicinal products company with my former partner. And I then transformed deeper into psychology later in the 80s and 90s, and became my deeper interest was helping people through their own psychological stuff. Mm-hmm. And transactional analysis was my avenue, and then got deeper and deeper into the dream work that progressed to the point where I worked on this book for many years, and my longtime mentor encouraged me to do a book because our system of dream work is really unique, and we incorporate all the dream analysts from history, such as Freud and Jung. Yes, they were fabulous, but we springboard from them into being able to decipher what's going on in relationship to modern day life. So, and we bring in the masculine and feminine qualities, the yin and the yang of life, which are the opposing forces in nature. The masculine and feminine energies, the positive and negative, like electrons and protons. We have these forces in nature that are come through in the way we behave and the way we think and project ourselves in our waking lives.
And I think, so much focus is taken off of dreams. People think I just dreamt that, but it doesn't have much meaning, or people give a lot of meaning to it. I mean, how important are dreams for personal growth?
Oh, Monique, it's so wonderful to have this access to our subconscious. This is the key. This is the missing link to being able to access what is going on in your subconscious mind and bring it forth to your conscious mind and relate and connect the dots to your waking life, because you can transform yourself so much quicker when you have this access to know how you are truly perceiving life, what you are really feeling, because it's not shaded. There are no filters in our subconscious mind. It's pure. So if we have the courage to delve into this, so the dream work comes in through the side door. I say we get to our subconscious mind through the side door, and then the stuff can bubble up and emerge, and we can connect with, I say that the training I do with people is training people to really be, access their sixth sense. This is these techniques is how you can access your sixth sense, and you are become your own psychic. And yes, I can reflect. I do I'm teaching people, how I can reflect back to you when you tell me a dream, I can reflect back to you, and then you can connect the meaning. I talk about it in the book. Oh, by the way,
I
the
know,
book.
and I read your book, and I remember you. Yes, here is the book, and I remember. I was going to get to that, but I remember you talking about in your book how it's really important when you go into your workshops or into some of your training that you do know a little bit of the background of the person you're working with, because that can really shed a lot of light on what's really happening in the dream.
Well, they share with me, and I don't even have to know their background. Once they tell me a dream, I can then ask questions. How is this relating to your life? This feeling. So, if you do have a dream to share with me today,
Oh my goodness, I always have dreams. Some I remember, some I don't. And I know that was another aspect of the book. You said something, what was it, the Lyman?
there's the line. This is the first takeaway I'll give you today, and your listeners, and is how to capture your dreams. I talk about this in chapter 7, how to capture your dreams. Well, the best way to capture your dreams is to keep a pad and pen by the bed. Some people use a recording device. It really isn't as good, because you are going to keep your eyes closed, and you're going to also keep a journal. That way you can reflect back on how your dreams build. And so anyway, you keep a pad and pen by the bed before you go to sleep. And upon waking, there's a state of consciousness called the Lyman state. And it's that state of consciousness between sleeping, waking, and waking and sleeping. And you can program it. You say, okay, self, I want answers to this dilemma, or give me, what can I do to improve how I'm relating with my husband, per se? Or what can I do about choices? Oh, I have choices to make in a particular area. I need to make choice. So you plant the seeds in your Lyman before you go to sleep, what it is you want to find out. Upon waking, you can feel when you're waking up, but you don't open your eyes. You keep your eyes closed for that 3 to 4 minute period that is the Lyman state, because it only lasts 3 to 4 minutes, this state of consciousness. And you keep your eyes closed for that 3 to 4 minutes, and that's when you will remember the images. So you scribble on your paper. Oh, what did I see? Oh, you don't open your eyes. You write on the paper, or your book, your journal. Cat, right? Just write the word cat. Oh, mountain, or whatever you saw. It can be the fewest images, and you build upon that in your dream work. So when you open your eyes, then you can fill in the scenario, but the scenario isn't necessarily so important. It's the images, the symbols that start appearing in your dream work,
I read that in your book. There's so many symbols. So then you can go back, you can take the book, and you can really relate to those symbols. I mean, anything from the furniture in your dreams to the food, to the people, to the clothing. And what was really interesting to see was the symbolism of all the colors and how they relate to the chakra.
That's right. Things in your dreams all have meaning. Everything we choose, I call our dreams like a play. So our subconscious mind, our psyche, chooses these characters and symbols to represent how we are perceiving, how our thoughts and attitudes and behaviors are affecting our psyche, and we create a play. And then somebody said to me just the other day, one of my clients, oh, why did this person pop into my dream and then offer me to loan me a car? And I said, well, what is that person? What is their character type? She goes, I haven't thought of that person in a long time. Why are they my dream? I go, well, to give me the character. What is the basic, in a nutshell, character of that person? And she goes, oh, well, she's very fun loving and light. And I said, okay. And she offered you a car. Well, car is representational of your way through life. So now she's been going through some tough times. She said, your psyche is telling you you're ready to have a lighter, more lighthearted side of a way through life now.
Mm-hmm. A fun-loving life. It's ready to get out and live in love.
That's right. That's right. So she was ready. She was starting to be ready after divorce. Now she's ready to lighten up and flourish more. That's
beautiful. I'll tell you an interesting dream I have. It's kind of a disgusting one, a little on the icky side, but
I have to interject right there. All dreams wish us well. There are no bad dreams, even when they're scary.
I was going to ask you that because I know everyone is so afraid of, the falling dreams, the teeth falling out, the death dreams.
And death dreams are great.
They are great. So we're going to hear more about that, but I do want to tell you about my icky green colored dream. Let's call it that. So basically what happened, and this is the interesting thing. So I'd love to hear your perspective because I had eaten pesto for dinner.
That's green.
It's green. And so did the rest of my family. And we all went to bed and we woke up in the morning and I was having these horrible nightmares that I was getting rid of all this green stuff. But the interesting part is it actually did happen in the physical later. So I woke up and the father of my daughter said to me, oh my gosh, I'm so sick from the pesto. But I had already had the dream before it ever came to fruition. And it was so weird to me. Hold on, because I want to get this piece in because I've never understood this. And I know you're going to probably know the answer. But it never, ever, I never had any conclusion with all this or some resolve because it was almost as if he got really sick. Of course, he had the food poisoning. My daughter had the food poisoning. And I didn't have it after I had this dream, but yet I ate the same thing. And then maybe 6-7 hours later, after they had it, I got it, but mildly. And they had it horribly. And then what we had realized was that this pesto sauce was no good because it had been in the freezer of our other home. Didn't know that the power went out. We brought it back and then it didn't have any funny smell. I used the pesto. And then I had this dream and I was
and what was the dream specifically? How did it?
I was basically in my dream. What was happening to me was what happened to them in real life, physically.
What happened?
I was just emitting all this green stuff. I was getting.
You were vomiting.
I was injecting it. Yes.
You were actually throwing up.
Yes, in my dream, but then I didn't do it in the physical, and they did. So I never understood why that.
You were processing, but still, nevertheless, your psyche was aware that your body was processing it. So it felt it, and it transmitted to your subconscious mind that it was in turmoil somewhat. It sensed it, and you were able to metabolize it out. But that's a situation where your psyche is aware of your bodily issues that were affecting you. So sometimes people incorporate sounds in their dreams. There might be some construction going outside when you're sleeping or something like that. So that's a different kind of a dream than ones that are more symbolic of your stuff that comes up.
So what you're saying is then the body can process some of the physical in the dream state, which kind of leads me to another question. So if we were to focus more on our dreams and really make those transformations, is there a connection to healing what could potentially be the physical in our dream state?
I don't understand your question.
So I'm basically asking, what is the connection between the dreams and the physical state, in the sense that if you were to to delve more into the work that you're doing and
Yes.
kind of work and understand your dreams, are you possibly maybe avoiding some physical manifestations of what is happening to us in the conscious?
Yes, well, you don't necessarily avoid it. Sometimes you move through it. You have to think your psyche is always trying to push the arrow through, not pull it out. There's less tissue damage pushing the arrow through.
Right.
So that's symbolically. So our psyche is always trying to work out getting us to the other side of things. Our mind always is wants resolve. So people suffer from anxiety and depression and these type of uh, psychological unrest is because they don't have resolve in their life. So that if you understand your dream life better, you come to resolution much quicker.
Right. Right.
This is just so, it's the straighter line between 2 points is really getting in touch with your subconscious mind through the dreams. And it's just amazing how you can process and come to resolve in a much more efficient way. It's like a dream to be dismissed, and one of the quotes in the book is, it's an uninterpreted dream is like a letter that's unread.
I remember that quote. That's a fantastic, like a letter never opened.
Never opened. So you're missing out. You're missing out on so many messages. And I wish you had some more dreams.
I have had other dreams. I mean, I actually did have a dream of my teeth falling out. I read, but that was a long time ago. I read about that one, and I think it said something about it having to do with insecurities or appearance.
Sometimes what I would say what was going on in your life at the time, I always relate because your psyche is always trying to help you resolve the stuff that's going on in your life. So what were you trying to sink your teeth into at the time, and you couldn't sink your teeth into it? It was just too overwhelming.
That's almost every day. Oh. I'm kidding.
But that's I really try to get people to deal with their dreams at the time. Don't wait a month down the road or 2 weeks. They are pertinent to what you need to know now.
Right. So if you can deal with your dreams now, then you can avoid, more of the same later.
Yeah. Now I suffered from what they called repetitive nightmares as a kid growing up, and didn't understand. And those type of dreams, repetitive dreams, are really knocking on the door, pounding on you to really, please, we want to get you past this. You must pay attention. And so when we get into people's repetitive dreams, a lot of people with post-traumatic stress, as I had, will have repetitive dreams, and it will keep blasting you until you work on the stuff. And the dream world, once we start deciphering the dreams and how to get to the bottom of things, and it starts bubbling up, it has to bubble up. It has to bubble up in order to bubble up and out.
Now, how do you get it out?
We get it out by talking about the dreams, and then I ask questions. This is where transactional analysis comes in. We say, okay, what can you do? That's why I love to work with a real dream, but we talk about what can you do now that you've discovered that this dream has shown you. I've held up a mirror and we've discovered that this dream is about, for instance, this client yesterday, about what's holding you back. When I say, now you're ready, your psyche's telling me you're ready to have a lighter way through life, a more elevated spirit in your life, and ready to move forward. What steps can you take? Now we start getting into what can we do to go there once we know your psyche's ready. That's a for instance. There's all kinds of issues people are dealing with, and even
so it's
business.
It's in the acceptance of what's really happening and the realization through the dream state that then you can go where that dream is leading you.
It's leading you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, follow the dream. I always tell people, don't be afraid. And sometimes dreams are just fun. You think it's fun, but they're also telling you messages too. But not to be afraid. Be courageous. Be courageous and watch your dream as if you're watching a movie. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, I just want to wake up and get out of it." Or they wake up and say, "Oh, it's just nonsense," or "It just seems stupid." But I say, stick with it. Just stick with it. Stay there with it. Watch it. Watch it like you're watching a movie. Some movies you might enjoy more than others, but sometimes the scary ones have the most impact and can move you, catapult you further, faster.
And so then I guess it goes back to the old adage of make sure and don't be afraid to follow your dreams.
And not to be afraid, but you can have fear, but I say have courage along with your fear. Be courageous. Courageously stay there and see what it has to say. You'll wake up eventually. You will wake up.
Exactly. You will absolutely wake up. And then if you get a hold of Patricia's book, you can wake up and you can read what your dream really meant. And this book really does show you that all dreams wish you well. And so with that said, let's get to the death dream, because I know that's always a scary, scary, scary one for most people.
Yes, death dreams seem to be scary, but once you understand what they are trying to tell us, you'll welcome them in the future. And that is when something in the dream dies, whether it's a pet or something is dying, or you see something dying in your, because everyone in your dreams is an aspect of yourself. So somebody or something in your dream dies, it's an aspect of yourself that you no longer need.
That you need to let go of.
You can let go of it, and it just means that you're ready to. Means you're ready to let go of some behavior, attitude, way of doing things, even certain relationships. This stuff comes up quite often when people are in a transformative stage of their life, and they will have death dreams. And death dreams can come in all kinds of symbols too. There was one client I worked with, and she had been going through a stage where her mother was chronically ill, and she was elderly. So it's something that her psyche knew that the mother was on her way out, but she was in denial. And so one time she was anxious about it and very upset about her mother. And she came from an Italian Catholic background.
Yeah,
and
I know what that's like.
And she had a dream where her underwear was hanging on the back of the door, a closet door, and it was black. She doesn't own any black underwear. Mm-hmm. So there was a bra and panties, black, hanging on the door. And she said it was very spooky. And she said, but I don't own black underwear. And I said, well, black, for you and your culture, and this is why everyone's dreams are different. There's no exactly one model for everyone, but from her background, the morning attire is black. And so she was preparing herself on the base level of her attire, preparing herself for the morning attire, which would be coming soon. So it helped her to stop being in denial about the fact that her mother was going to be leaving soon. So it was a way of incrementally desensitizing her to the inevitable passing of her mother.
That's unbelievable. I'm sitting here going, how in the world do you get there? I know you worked closely with Dr. Pat Allen, right?
Right. I am a protege of Dr. Pat. Yes.
And you worked with her for about 26 years. So it has taken you a long time to get here. And what a gift, I mean, to learn this, because I don't know too many people who are dream analysts, dream experts. I'll call you a dream illuminator, because you are taking a dream and you're bringing light to it, so that people can really understand what the next step is. And I myself, I didn't even realize that dreams were even as important as I've learned through reading the dream class and just speaking with you prior on the telephone to having you on today. And of course, even more today, I've been enlightened about my dreams, and I am certainly going to pay closer attention. And I know if anybody else wants to really pay close attention to their dreams, you can go to thedreamclass.com. You can check out Patricia Eltinge, and you can hear all about your dreams. You can order her book and know more and be able to translate your dreams. But you can also, have a workshop or maybe a private, consult with Patricia, because if you're feeling blocked, I think dreams are probably, your answer to, your next step forward.
Yes, and I also work with not just people having trauma issues or anxieties. There are plenty of business people that I deal with, and helping them make their business decisions. I'm not helping them make their business decisions. I'm getting them in touch with their own subconscious, so they make bring their own subconscious forward to their conscious mind, and they make better business decisions.
So what is the best success story you've seen in business, without giving names? You don't have to give names, but the changes that you saw made in leadership with someone who shared their dreams, and you were able to interpret that so that they were able to go back and apply the new changes they needed to make to the culture of their business.
Well, I have some people in the hotel business, and a well-known family that they're in business together, and one of the sons has been doing work with me for several years, and the father and the brothers say to him, they go, "What are you all of a sudden, psychic?" Because his decision making and his choices have turned out to be better, not just better than he used to be, but better than what they thought their own avenues were. And it would come to him in, at first, what he thought were strange images, but they were ones that related to him, as far as let's say a boat. There was a boat, and who was at the helm, and who was in charge of who was at the helm. But then if they went this direction, it went down a highway, and then there was a bridge, and it would break the mast. And if you went this way, it wouldn't, and it would be in calmer waters. So that's what I'm saying. The symbols need to be deciphered. And the another thing I mentioned in the book is about the dream comes to us like a message in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So when you open the bottle, you realize this is written in Greek. So what would you do with that? You wouldn't just throw it away. You would go take it to
Google Translate,
who can translate Greek, and say, what is this message I'm supposed to be getting?
Mm-hmm. And that's you. You are the dream translator, the Google Translate of dreams.
So yes, people contact me, and I do groups. I've had several churches and synagogues have me do a Zoom group for their private group, and chime in. I give a lecture about the dreams at first. I did a small talk, and then people chime in, and we do their dreams. So
And I'm
that's
sure
all.
you've heard some pretty interesting dreams through this whole COVID time,
Oh yes,
more than
yes.
ever.
Yeah, there was been a lot of anxious dreams, and people, especially in the beginning, people not knowing how they would, um, what action to take, how they were perceiving their world in the future,
Mhm.
and how their own subconscious mind will guide them if not cluttered.
Mhm.
And so that's what I get people in touch with, the uncluttered world of the subconscious, because the conscious mind can get very cluttered.
It can, and that's the beauty. I think of the most recent song I wrote. It's called "Livin'," and the lyrics are "living from the inside out." So, what I'm trying to help people understand is that if you can stay within, stay inside where those dreams are, where there is that certainty,
In touch,
the
in
messy
touch.
mind. Don't let the messy mind control you.
Yes. Well,
Follow
that's the
the
mind that's up
intuition.
here.
That's right.
This is uncluttered. The dreams are so pure. The dreams are the purest touch of
Mhm,
your mind, because there are no filters.
mhm.
And they just seem a little crazy at first before you understand them, but they're the least crazy in reality.
So that's why you have to make your dreams come true, because that is the reality. And so I think everyone needs to keep a pen and paper by their bed.
And keep their eyes closed for that 3 to 4 minute period before opening your eyes.
Yes. And then when you open your eyes,
You're out of the Lyman state. The second you open your eyes, you're out of that state, and you're losing touch
you're out
instantly.
of the Lyman state, but I bet you're going to see more clearly after that.
You'll see more clearly if you've written something down
Mhm.
while you were in that state with your eyes closed.
So I guess I have a lot of work to do, and so do probably many of my listeners. So make sure everyone you get a hold of the dream class and follow your dreams. And Patricia, thank you so much for joining me today. Such a gift. You were such a love, such a beauty. I look forward to spending more time together. I do have more dreams that I'd love for you to decipher. And before I let you go today, I always ask all of my guests one question. As a country music singer-songwriter, I always like to know, what is the one song that speaks to your heart and sums up the essence of your being?
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Can you sing a little? That's one of my favorites. That's my favorite movie.
I thought I was Mary Poppins when I was a kid. The hills are alive with the sound of music.
So enlighten me. How does that sum up the essence of your being?
Because you're in touch with the universe.
Yeah, it is absolutely so uplifting. So, you know what, Patricia, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that your hills are always alive with the sound of music. I know that mine are. I'm so blessed to be able to share music with so many people around the world. And I feel so blessed that you joined me today here on Living and Loving. So everyone, please take a moment. Go to thedreamclass.com and check out Patricia Eltinge, because she can help you make your dreams come true. Because remember, all dreams are beautiful. All dreams have a great message. Have a blessed day. And I look forward to seeing you all here again in a couple weeks at 4 p.m. on Thursdays every other week. Living and Loving with Monique McCall. I'm out.